All right, I'm gonna call this meeting to order. We don't really have like a set agenda, but I've kind of wrote down a little bit of like what I want to discuss and some issues that's been brought forward to me, and get your all's input on it. Obviously, Mr. Webb had spoke about during the council meeting about having a designated spot in front of his business, and also Michelle Rodolini from the Uptown Dish Chamber of Commerce, she reached out to me via email and kind of requested something similar. I know Upland Soul has a parking spot in front of their restaurant for 15 minutes for parking, and it says 15-minute reserved for Upland Soul carry-out customers. So Ms. Rodolini requested something of the same, and I think that's something that we can do and should do into regards. But something that I've been thinking about on this is we need to come up with a plan, in my opinion, in a mapping way to control the parking uptown. I think it's really hard to govern right now for Stephon. Like with Word Park, for the prime example, Ms. Moorfield kind of reached out to me and brought this up, and I know Stephon brought it up, but that box isn't working to its full capacity now. So it's hard for him to give out a ticket because it's not working. So what I would like to see is we all come to agreements of, parking on the street, on Main Street, Neville, Prince, however it would be. Decide how we want to do that. Do we want to keep parking meters? Do we want to, designate that spot in front of the building for those businesses? Do we want to make it 1 hour only? Some way that he can govern them. Same thing with Word Park. Do we make Word Park a 1 hour free parking, or do we put in a new machine? I just think that our biggest issue is we're fighting a battle with so many different problems going to it. We have to come up with a plan before we fix something. So I know there's spots going up and down all the streets. I don't know, on Prince Street, Mr. Dunlap has some spots he pays for monthly. NRGDA pays for monthly spots, so in front of their businesses. So we need to, in my opinion, if we're renting out certain spots, we can't give away free spots as well. It's kind of slap in the face. So I think we need to come up with a plan. I don't know if that's something that we want to do as a whole, maybe outsource it, or maybe we can all just come up with some ideas and then go from there and kind of see where it leads to. But I would really like to see like Word Park make that parking lot one thing or another. If it's 1 hour, 2 hour free parking, we make it a paid lot. The old Fruits of Labor lot, everyone knows what we're talking about. It's a gravel lot. We need to get it fixed up. I know there's been talks of trying to fix it up in the lot by the water company, but maybe, we make the one at Word Park free, and then we make that parking space, put a machine that we charge, and then maybe all the street parking are designated to businesses or put park, we got to come up with something in my opinion. So I want to kind of get everybody else's opinion on seeing how they feel about it, but there needs to be a structure. It's about impossible, I think, right now to govern how it is. And then, you have businesses uptown where the owners and the workers are just parking all day long in the parking, and, the consumers can't get a parking spot. I know it's not an issue. We're going to snap our fingers and fix it tonight, but that's something I definitely want to get opinions on and, do. Like I said, I think where we really need to start is to get a map and make it different areas and zones, so it's not confusing when you go to, for example, the day we all got sworn in. I parked all the way on Prince Street because I couldn't find a parking spot on the road, because then I'm also like, oh, what if I park here and we end up going over, then I might get a ticket, you know what I mean? So I think we need to make it as simple as we can, so when people come to downtown, signage is good, understanding is good. If this is paid parking, this is free parking, this is 15-minute parking, and that's my opinion.
Bill, the passport parking thing's not working at all?
That's like Word Park is correct.
At Word Park, there's one at Word Park, there's one at the top of the project.
Okay, yeah.
And we had been we've been working diligently here, my guys have, they're kind of outdated, and so we've been trying to get those updated. The problem with those is that, you know, if we want to use those on a regular basis, those are very expensive pieces of equipment. They're, I think, $15,000 a piece or something like that, and they require a lot of maintenance, a lot of upkeep. They're problems.
Mm-hmm.
My suggestion would be to get rid of those. Passport parking in and of itself, I think, you know, we got that. If we committed ourselves to passport parking, it has a lot of advantages. I mean, it makes it very simple for everybody. When you talked about going down south,
Yeah.
I just came back from Myrtle Beach. I noticed that Myrtle Beach, they used Park Mobile. Park Mobile is just a competitor of Passport. I mean, that's the way most places do that. They've got those zoned off. You got a zone number. I mean, you can do it from the advantage. You can do it from your car. You can, if you're uptown and you're overtime, and you can just, it'll notify you. You can just extend your time.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, the problem with free parking is that who takes free parking? That's the employees of the town. So, you know, that's always been a problem. My time as a police officer, that was a problem. That was free parking in those places. I would suggest that we commit to, if you will, passport parking, because passport parking is also used for parking enforcement. That's what he uses for. I mean, he goes down and looks at the zone. If there's nobody in the zone, then there shouldn't be anybody parking. You know, He looks at his system and says there's nobody that's supposed to be parked on Neville Street, and there's 3 cars parked on Neville Street. Unless they paid a meter, of course, meters are a problem as well. So the question is, get rid of meters. Or, my thoughts have been that maybe we need a parking lot, a small lot uptown, somewhere that could be a designated meter lot. For those people that are averse to doing something, just have a small metered lot. Everything else is passport parking. And I think that would probably, you can chime in there.
Yeah,
I think that would probably be a good solution for that.
Well, we tore a building down that cost $110,000 on Prince Street. You know, the Prince Medical Lab, would that be a good lot to have a metered lot
Well,
there?
Wherever, just somewhere
Or-
that, because I think.
or
I
maybe
think
where
to Cody's
the-
point, we need a parking map. It'd be great to have a parking map that we put on the website. It would say, hey, here's for parking. You've got, during this period of time, we give you free parking. Maybe during, we used to do it lunchtime, I guess that's, we got free parking. Then the other times, it's passport parking. And if we designate those as free parking during those periods of time, we can have passport configured so they can't even pay during that period of time. It'll tell them, hey, you know, this is free parking.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
went to
weekends.
Charleston back in September. We were taking my daughter to a show at the Clay Center, and they have like parking meters there, but they have like the, you know, same
Right.
system we do. I can't remember the name of it, but
They use
like
Park Mobile.
Park Mobile, yeah. And so I scanned it, and it was like parking ends and like paid parking ends in 5 minutes. So because it was like 5:55 or something at 6 o'clock, then all parking became free. But it told me that specifically.
Yeah,
Well,
passport
it's
does
very
that.
flexible,
Yeah.
because to that point, I think, and when we first started dealing with Passport, one of the issues we had was, the federal people. There's still a lot of people that worked in the federal government, they didn't have a lot of people work from home, and they would get there very early, but we didn't start charging, we just didn't start, you know, ticketing people for parking, didn't require them to start paying until 8 o'clock in the morning. And so they would have to run out to their car. So we were able to get Passport configured so that they could prepay. In other words, they could go ahead and put it in, but it says, oh, you can put in for, you know, if you're 4 hours or whatever, but it won't start charging you until 8 o'clock. So it would still know to notify them at a certain period of time. So it's very flexible. Some of it may take us, require us to contact Passport. We need to make this change or that change. But whatever you all decide with that, I think from a cost perspective, because, you know, we don't charge that much for parking to start with, so it's not really a moneymaker. It is what it's supposed to be, which is a turnover.
Don't we own that
system.
property behind the Axe? Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Robinson, you say, oh, did we turn it?
On Earwood Street, yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
it's
we-
never been paved.
No, it's part of the plan, the Fruits of Labor lot, for lack of a better term, and the Earwood lot both. Thrasher's been working on a plan to be able to redesign that one plus the Beckley Water lot.
Right.
All of that, they're planning to redesign. We're held up right now at stormwater, because we're having problems getting the water to drain away from the buildings. Once we get that part approved, we'll be able to move forward and get those lots completely redone.
You think?
Did-
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was gonna say, do you think, while we're in that process, I guess Sam's working on that from Thrasher. Do you think it would be possible that Sam he works on a map for all of our downtown parking, like shows us the streets and shows us, just a rough drawing idea of that Earwood, Fruits of Labor, Water Company parking lot, like just a ballpark idea of what he has in mind, maybe what could fit over on the Prince Street property, and then we kind of get an idea of what our parking can look like once we get it in, and then we can all individually look at that map and say, this is where metered parking should go, this is where, 15-minute parking, hour parking, or whatever. Then we all could give suggestions. You think maybe that Sam could have something like that to us by the next parking commission meeting?
We
I
can
mean, can you
certainly
request it
try.
to
Yeah, we
him?
can certainly try. I know he's been held up on finalizing the drawings, just waiting for
Yeah.
that information.
Like I said, nothing to hold it to, but just kind of give
Right.
everybody
Get an idea.
I'm better seeing a picture myself, so looking
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
looking at like the blueprint of it.
If I could mention one other item that I think everybody needs to put in the back of their mind is that the big project, parking system there,
Hmm.
that is another system that is, the gate system, that is an outdated, no longer supported. No, matter of fact, the company, that's a 3M system. And 3M sold all of their parking systems to an Israeli
Really?
company. And it's not even available to us anywhere anymore. So, it's up and going. I know Public Works works on it sometimes. My guys go down to work on it sometimes. But it's just something to keep in mind that we might want to find.
Is that something
look at
like
some other alternative for how we manage that parking.
Well, I know like at Flat Top Lake and like Glade and stuff. I'm pretty sure. I think it's Safe and Sound. They handle it all, and they hand out the transponders to guests or like a Glade when we go through. I have a piece of paper and they scan it with the barcode thing to open up the gate. But I believe it's like a security system. Maybe if we can put it out for bid. But then I know AD&T, I've seen them out there. But get like someone like that, then that kind of takes the burden off of us, and we can call them. You know what I mean? And
Well,
it can
there's
kinda
a lot,
upgrade it.
there are a lot of other options. I mean, you go anywhere, my son lives up in Reston, Virginia, you go up and they got parking lots everywhere.
Mhm.
And so there are options out there. I mean, I just wanted you to be aware that it's working all right, but the day's gonna come, there's gonna be a day of reckoning. We're gonna have to just open the gates up and
Yeah.
make sure, it could be pay by space, you can do whatever, and it could be a passport system again. I mean, it could be part of that. It's just, I know that originally that was all set, most of that was rented out, just paid it, and people had their cards to come in with, and that's what it was for. At the top level, we've got part of it for the police department, part of it's for the new river transit down on the bottom. But I just wanted you to know that system was probably close to being old even when it went in, and it's been in for a long, long time.
Gotcha.
Well, for merchants like Steve and William and the Dish, does that just need to be signage saying unloading zone, X number of minutes? Is that what you need, Steve?
Yeah, that's why I'm not looking for a permanent parking place downtown, for me to park the car. I'm looking for a customer that's bought a Corsage and wants to pop in and grab it and go.
So just like a 15-minute parking.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I'm looking for.
Yeah, I buy stuff from Steve, and it's sometimes hard to get something from here.
Yeah, I've had to walk just to get to
Yeah.
Steve sometimes, yeah. I think we need to cater to small businesses that are
What,
willing to come to town.
Does the international market have parking?
Do you have parking?
There's is there not a 15-minute parking?
There's 15 minutes of parking, that's not designated.
Okay.
The only thing we would like to see is a little bit more than 15 minutes.
Yeah, because where we have like a store, people have to come in, walk around the store, 15 minutes, not enough for.
It makes people kind of antsy, they always assume, even at nighttime, customers assume they're getting a ticket outside, and I was like, no, it's fine to explain that to every customer is impossible. And the same thing with the Dish and any restaurants, I think it should be long enough for people to sit down and eat.
Yeah, I think like what Michelle had talked to me with the Dish is she wants 15-minute just for carry out only, and I think he's kind of wanting the same thing. But I understand your concern of that. Well, I think that for these issues of the Uptown Dish, the flower shop.
Brian, what about you having clients come into your real estate office?
That's not Brian.
I'm sorry, I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
That's really timed up, yeah.
You got jokes too, huh?
I really wasn't. I'm nearsighted, and I thought you were Brian sitting back there. I'm so sorry.
That's Willie's
I
house.
know.
That is funny.
And my glasses are in the car.
She doesn't represent all of parking commission, just saying.
Do you need a parking spot in front of your business? Whatever it is, wherever it is.
Oh, Willie's
but-
retired. I see him at Planet Fitness every morning.
But
Go ahead.
to go on, Mr. Fowle kind of suggested, we talked about in the first meeting, what we need to do is this body needs to make a recommendation. So I'm asking for a motion for tonight to move forward of giving Uptown Dish a 15-minute parking reserved for carryout customers only. Same thing for the floral shop, and we'll work on yours. Okay, you got a 15-minute. We'll work on yours, but let's make that suggestion for those two now, and I make a motion for that, and then hopefully by next meeting we can have a big picture and slowly do it. I mean, we're going to work on this. I mean, this is the first time we've had this committee in 5-6 years, so we're making motions, but
What's,
I think council should make the final decision.
yeah, and I
The
think,
council.
so I make the motion that we send this to the council to make the final decision. On, got a first and a second. All in favor?
aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Does anyone else have any other topics on the commission?
I do have a question about the parking lot across from the used to be Fruits of Labor. Is there monthly parking there, or is there any signage? How, is it just
No signs at all.
no sign, people just park there for
People
free
just
and they're,
park
okay.
Yeah,
You-
that's
And you,
what we gotta get taken care of.
yeah, well, I just wanna clarify that. But I have a question, Bill. You said that something about parking meters. So can you get parking meters to have a metered lot? I know that,
Can you, are they available?
yeah, are
Well,
they
my
available
point
to
was,
have?
I think we have some parking meters that work.
Oh,
And I
okay,
think we
okay.
were just to remove
Well, okay, okay.
the other ones and
Okay.
take the ones that are left. and
I didn't
put
know
that
if there
in a
were that
metered
many.
lot.
Okay, that's a
Yeah.
great idea.
I think we have.
Having a
We had
metered
hundreds
lot.
of them, and I don't know how many we have left.
There's not
What-
many at all?
What
No?
about, but there's companies that make them, correct, like, I mean, not or not at all.
Yeah, that's what he said
No.
earlier,
No.
that they just kind of went
Buy them on
obsolete.
eBay?
It's about as good
Hope
as
you're good at
it
bidding.
Well, we can make it a passport lot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, make it a passport. We'll work on it. And like I said, I think, I feel confident, within a month's time that Sam will be able to get us something that we can look at, and then we can all kind of brainstorm on that. Any other comments?
Now, will Sam know all maybe not, that's my question. He know where all the parking spaces are in the city of Beckley, correct?
I-
Is
I-
that it?
Will have to work with him
I-
on it, but
yeah.
yeah, we can get that done.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Ms. Chandler said she would work with him and kind of tell him, what properties, the three by the Fruits of Labor, Earwood, and the water company, let him know and kind of give us a rough idea, and then the Pinecrest that Ms. Hunter, or not Pinecrest, Prince Street lot. Y'all tell something's been on my mind for a while. The Prince Street lot
we
by
need
the
to go
courthouse to get a plan on that where that building got tore down, and just kind of give
yeah.
us a rough idea of what we're looking at. But I think by next meeting, Ms. Chandler and Mr. Rich can work on that.
I think that would be a very utilized parking lot right there where Prince Medical used to be.
And I'd like to be part of that if possible, because everything y'all talking about so far is in my ward.
We'll make sure you're involved. All right,
Mary wanted to ask something about handicap parking.
I would like to know if you all can make the handicap spots to decrease, because, we have to get out, walk to them, and you gotta put some money in. Now, and I've had, when you're talking about where parking, big door, now that's terrible up there now, they got big dumpsters sitting in that parking lot, blocking the other handicap spots. So can handicap spots in the city of Beckley be free to customers? We paid our due, and I don't wanna fall, cause I had to walk all the way up to the water company and walk back down to that, building down there for, something last week. And that's not a short walk, especially when you got mobility issues.
I think that's definitely something we'll take into consideration.
I would appreciate it if you all did.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well, can I say something?
Yes, sir.
since you're talking about that, one thing you'll note, and I think I've got a list of them, when we were putting the passport system together, there are a lot of different rates for parking, in a lot of different locations, and that might be something you might want to look at. You know, the ones that are more valuable spaces maybe should be, you know, more, cost more. Again, the whole goal is to get people to turn over, and, you know, I think one of the things that I see in Beckley in particular is everybody wants to park in front of the business. Nobody wants to walk. I know when we were first, when the downtown area was still kind of vital, we were talking about trying to bring other things back in, and one of the property owners downtown made a comment that he had a large retail establishment that he thought would get in town, but he didn't have any parking. And my first thought was, well, wherever this place is at, because it was a well-known national place, if I were to tell those people that they had 300 parking places within a block of this, they would jump on that. That's all we're concerned about. And yet we expect everybody wants to park right in front where they're going to. There's a difference between parking somewhere to go in and pick up something and go out. You don't want to park everywhere. But if I'm going somewhere downtown, be walking downtown. And so it's just a mindset, I think, that we have to work on and worry about. But it's also the thing that when we look at parking rates that have been in place forever, you might just want to look at it. If nothing else, I'm not saying raise rates. I think maybe you might want to look at making sure that you got the right rates in the right places.
No, I definitely agree, and I think, like you said, try to make it as simple as possible, because every area needs to be known. You know, there's so much questions. I know it's hard to patrol it right now. I mean, you know,
Is it
yeah.
only Stefan? Is it only Stefan? Yeah.
Well, I mean, any place he's the one who watches.
And down there last week, and they didn't have, and it's all free parking, it's tourist.
Yeah.
Of course, they didn't have the government buildings that we have that would take the good spots, and that's kind of the reason why we have to have as well as, I guess, paying on.
And I think, you know, if we go the route of certain areas free parking, set just, for example, we go Ward Park and the other parking lots we're going to eventually do, say we did free parking there, but we need to put an hourly limit, so if, you know, he can mark them, figure out a way, I mean, I'm sure with the technology, he can have license plate numbers down, and he can put, yeah, and chalk and stuff. So,
And we've also talked about, on Beckley Intermodal Gateway, if we don't have those gates, where the state building have those spots on top, and when we have an event on the weekend, and we have to ask those guys to move somewhere else, they can't move below because they don't have the,
transponder.
yeah, to get in and out, and so they have to move over to the state building. If we have something going on there, we have to move them back, and it's just, if we had that ramp going down to have that for them, I think that would be helpful for any events we have there. But we talked about if we tried to move the gate down the bottom of the ramp, that it's gotta be x-rayed and it's got all kinds of.
Yeah, because that's all pre-stressed concrete, so you can't go drilling into it. Put something in place to run conduit and all that sort of stuff. So you really couldn't do that. But again, if we go to where it's a system that doesn't really need those gates, then you don't have that problem.
Definitely agree.
That
Did
would
we-
be helpful to everybody's in the park too, when that parking lot stays full, where park if we can have that Friday over there open for a couple of people to come to the
At our first parking commission meeting that we had last month, we hadn't had one for 4 years. We talked about free parking from 11:30 to 1. Did we ever implement that for lunch? We are still 11:30 to 1 is free parking. Anywhere.
1:30.
It's 11:30 to 1:30.
11:30 to
Yeah, 2 hours,
1:30.
right.
11:30,
2 hours.
11:30, 1:30. Gotcha.
Is that on our website? It's on the city's website.
I've got the sign, I'm gonna send one to Michelle.
That'd be great to put on our website, maybe.
I know on Ward Park, I think on the loot box it says that, and passport parking won't charge them.
For 2 hours. Okay.
I think it's about everything. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Good job.
There you go. You did.